when you're talking about gut health, we talk about things that are going to optimize optimum function to help you ensure that you have the best digestion, you have the best absorption, and you have the best assimilation possible. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Well Nourished Podcast. My co-host and I are going to have a conversation on foundations of healthy living, as we actually promised. My name is Lilian Momina. I am a registered dietitian, and my co-host is
my name is Grace Misere. I am a nutritionist as well, and it's my pleasure to have this talk, and I hope that you learn one or two things that you can apply immediately into your life.
So make sure that you stick around until the end, because we are telling you it's going to be juicy, it's going to be a lot of information, but we're going to deliver it in the most simplest way so that you can understand it, so that you can be able to actually apply what you're going to learn. Kindly excuse my cat, but it is well. So Grace, foundations of healthy living. Today I feel like I'm going to be an interrogator.
I will do it.
Okay.
So the reason why we are doing this video is just to make things clear, because there's a lot of information that people need to follow. Rule A, Rule B, and Rule C, so that they can be healthy. Health should not be that complicated. As long as you are progressing every day to optimize your health, you don't really need to be perfect. So the thing is, just make sure that you are consistent. Like every day you are striving to do at least one thing, but don't be taken down by the internet that you have to do A, B, C, D so that you can be healthy. So we are going to start with the number one foundation of health, which is blood sugar balance. This is not only for people that have diabetes or pre-diabetes. Like, you don't have to get there. So it's one way that can keep your metabolism fueled and working optimally. So if you have a poor metabolism, start balancing your blood sugars. And when we are talking about balancing our blood sugar, what it actually means is that we need to make sure that our meals have three or at least three components, and these components are carbohydrates, healthy carbohydrates, protein, and fats. So we want to make sure that every time that we are having a meal, whether it's breakfast, whether it's a snack, whether it's lunch or dinner, that our meals are balanced. So when you have that combination, it actually reduces insulin spikes that are associated with the diabetes and all that. So that is number one thing about blood sugar balance. Then Momina can just add more points.
Yeah, and another thing maybe on the blood sugar control. You see, in the Kenyan setup, we are fortunate enough to have a lot of variety of foods when it comes to the different food groups that you've mentioned. So I know sometimes it might be difficult because of maybe busy schedules, you may be tired, you don't have enough time to start combining your meals. Again, when we are preparing our meals, because we don't want to have complications with AGEs or those small complications here and there that we talk about, we try as much as we can to ensure that we prepare the meals independently. Like if it's rice, let it be rice. Prepare the rice, or with potatoes, because they are both carbohydrates. Then prepare your meat scandal. But of course, with pilau being a favorite of many, it's kind of difficult to get out of that. But every once in a while, having your pilau will not kill you. And remember, it is essential. If you don't control your blood sugars, your organs ages, your liver suffers, you get serious surges of acne and skin conditions, and then you are also at risk of the common diabetes. I saw somewhere that the American Association of Health was recommending that people start classifying diabetes as a genetic rather than a metabolic disorder. And I was like, okay, why are these people trying to make it happen that if your parent has diabetes, like, you have to have it? You know, if they are telling you it's genetic, it's telling you that if you have nothing to do about it, you'll definitely get diabetes. But I think it should still remain as a metabolic disorder, because it is a metabolic disorder, because with the right lifestyle, with the right adjustments, you can actually play around with your blood sugars and live a very comfortable life, regardless of the fact that maybe your parents or your relatives had diabetes or not. The second foundation that I would like to talk about is gut health. As I always say, it all starts and ends in the stomach and digestion. If your stomach cannot digest it, your body cannot utilize it, and your system cannot assimilate it. When you're talking about gut health, you talk about things that are going to support your gut. functionality, things that are going to optimize optimum function to help you ensure that you have the best digestion, you have the best absorption, and you have the best assimilation possible. And these are things like having variety of meals in your day-to-day activities. Grace mentioned about having at least in your meals, having the 3 macronutrients, and also want to add on, make sure that you don't eat the same macronutrients every other day. Don't eat rice and meat and every day. Mix. There's ugali, there's chapati, there's ngwashe, there's potatoes. Actually, carbs are the most complex food groups that we have, because I think we have a variety of them in the country. Tuko na matoke, we have potatoes. Play around with them. Even the vegetables, make sure that you don't eat the same skuma and spinach as we are used to every other day. So that is the first thing about gut health. The second thing is supporting your digestion. How do you support digestion? Support digestion by practicing what we call digestion hygiene, like chewing your meals, ensuring that you have that personal touch with your meals, ensuring that you are comfortable when you're having your meals. And another thing, also ensure, because it's very important to optimize digestive enzymes and acid to help you digest your foods better and to reduce hyperacidity that is caused with, you see, hyperacidity can be caused due to low production continuously. Your body now will get it into its head that, okay, fine, I'm not producing enough acid when I am fed, so I need to be producing more. That is how low acidity causes hyperacidity. If you're eating and drinking too much water at the same time, you're going to reduce your stomach acids, and this over time might lead you to hyperacidity. People will tell you that I have to take water to dilute my acids when I'm eating. That is not the best thing to do. We usually recommend that you do 30 minutes or before and after meals, if you have to take your waters, and if you have to do some sips here and there, because some foods can be dry, like something like pizza, maybe you don't want to do water or soda, you can do water. So you can do sips when you're having them, but don't be too much. Don't be diluting your acids, because you're going to compromise your functionality. Maybe you can add more on gut.
It's very important because it's usually like the first step where we are able to get our nutrients. So if our gut health is not optimal, we will see so many symptoms, including our hormones, thyroid, anxiety and depression, energy levels. So it's very key that we understand the importance of gut health and how to ensure that we optimize our gut health. But this is a very broad topic that we can even do separately from this video, where we can get into the what are the actual foods when we talk about prebiotics, probiotics, where do they come in and what are the sources. So we can do this one later. It's a very much asked for topic, and we will do that. So I'm going on to the third foundation of health, and it's going to be minerals. Minerals are very, very key. Sometimes we forget about them and about their functions in the body, and we only concentrate on the macronutrients. They are involved in so many enzymatic reactions in the body. They help our carbohydrates, fat and protein get into the cell and do their work. I'm sure you have had a mineral like magnesium, and the way that it is involved in like 42% of enzymes in our body. So it is very key to understand that there are different minerals, not just magnesium. There is potassium, there's selenium, there's zinc, and that is just to name a few. But the good thing is that when we have a holistic or a healthy diet, like say you are able to take a combination of different vegetables, cereals and grains that are whole grain, you can be able to get these minerals as well. You can get something that has a protein and has minerals, or it has a carbohydrate and also it gives you good sources of minerals. So even if you don't understand where can I get selenium, where can I get zinc, you should first of all start from taking very varied diet, healthy balanced diet, so that you can get minerals. Minerals are also involved in hydrating our body. There are minerals that are known as electrolytes like magnesium, potassium, sodium, that are very key for our hydration status. We say that taking water alone does not mean that you are well hydrated, because some water that we have does not have those key elements or those key electrolytes. So it's good to add these minerals into our diets, because they support so many aspects of our health, including our energy levels. So we move on to the fourth foundation of health.
Okay, now I'm going to talk about sunshine, my favorite. So personally, when I don't get sun, like we've had some episodes of serious cold in the last few days, we thank God this week has been blessed with a lot of sunshine. When I don't get sunlight for like a continuous like 7 days, I get moody, I start getting anxious, and I start being not so friendly. That is something that I have come to realize over time. So sunshine has very important aspects and very important things that it does to our lives. The first thing and the most common one is activation of vitamin D, and also to be utilized in the body, in the skin, in the cells, for other functions. Another thing, vitamin D is very crucial in repair of your epithelial. Let's say if you have issues with your gut, you have issues with blood sugar control, you need to have adequate supply of vitamin D, and the sun will help. When you're talking about depression and anxiety, most of the cases that I have dealt with usually avoid going out and getting some sun. And that is usually one of the things that when you go to your psychologist, or even when you come to me as a dietitian and you're telling me that you want foods that are going to reduce your anxiety, you want foods that are going to help you with inflammation because you're having a lot of issues in your brain, in your activities. Of course, one of the things that I should actually be able to tell you is to go outside and get some sun. That is very important. In fact, there are studies that have actually supported sunshine to be not a cure but a remedy for someone who's anxious or someone who's depressed. So if you are struggling with any kind of mental issues, whether emotional distress, the economy is tough, so you can be having some financial challenges that are giving you so much stress that you're becoming chronically stressed. So having walks, like right now it's sunny outside, so you can leave the house, get like 10 minutes exposure for a grown person. If you go outside, like you see my hands are exposed, my legs are kind of exposed, and my face is bare because I don't have sunscreen yet, which I should. So I'll be able to harvest enough vitamin D to help me run again my joints, again your bones. It's very important for posture and such things, so make sure that you get some sun.
And my next point is also tied to that, because the fifth foundation to health is exercise. So sometimes when you are out in the sun and you are having those walks, you are also doing some exercise for your body. And the thing is with exercise, some people just think that it's a very hard thing to achieve, so they either avoid it totally, or they immerse themselves too much into it, crazily into it. There's supposed to be some balance when you are adding exercise into your routine. There are so many different kinds of exercise, but the recommendation is that you need to do something that you love doing. So even if it's taking those walks, if it is running, jogging, it has to be something that you can be able to do it on yourself without too much push, And if you are lucky enough, you can also include some strength training, whether at home or at a gym facility. Too much of exercise is also not healthy. So if you are striving for health, you want to optimize your health, just look out for exercise that you can do at home or with your friends without too much strain, because you don't want it to be another source of stress to your body when we want to take off stress from our bodies, you understand? So exercise is very important. By the way, it's underrated, and it's something that you can incorporate at any given time.
The next thing I'm going to talk about, and by the way, at this point, if you're finding this video useful, kindly give it a thumbs up. As we told you the other day, we've just started, so when you give our video a thumbs up, that is basically a like. It is free. You'll be supporting our channel by showing the algorithm that these people actually know what they are doing, and we promise you we know what you're doing, so make sure that you also subscribe. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is basically tied to sunshine and even exercise. I'm going to talk about stress management and why it's so important for optimal functionality and health. In the world that we are living in, stress is unavoidable. Unless you're dead, you're going to have stress. So you should not be too hard on yourself because of some stressors here and there. I always say, like, when you're dealing with stressful conditions, remember that it needs you to move one step at a time. The way when you're walking, when you have to walk, when a baby is learning to walk, they move the first step, then we encourage them to move, to take the second step, then the third and the fourth. The same thing should be applied when you're dealing with stress. Stress has been associated with a lot of issues when it comes to your health, from metabolic functions to mental disorders to gut dysfunctionality and other conditions. Diabetes, cancers, hypertension, arthritis, all those have been linked to stressors. Even the communicable diseases that we as a country face, like things like malaria, typhoid, the common bacterial infections here and there, are going to attack you more if you are stressed, because your body's immune or defense system goes down in a stressful situation. I know sometimes it's easier said than done, and we're also going to have a topic on stress management, because it is very essential and it is very important when you're dealing with health. It's not so easy to avoid stress. I understand that very well. But you see, there are things that you can do to help your body manage your stress better. You see, the body has adaptive mechanisms to try and protect itself from the stressful situation, like the production of cortisol hormones, the release of other enzymes and antioxidants and such, to help the body try to come up in a balance so that you can deal with the stress better. But you see, when it exceeds some certain levels and it becomes chronic, your body gets confused and it starts now adjusting to the stressful condition, and this is where disease or the defense system, the mechanisms go down, and this is what we are going to avoid. So some of the things that you can do to help you in managing stress well is have a conversation about what is stressing you out. Unfortunately, in the world that you're living in, you see, like personally, do I even know my neighbor? Not really. But you see, that is a very sad state of affairs, because you're a human being. You're supposed to thrive in that communal environment, when your associations, the human interactions, that is what our brain and our body and our health thrives in. Human interactions. Of course, we are slowly getting into things like pets, which is also a good thing. If you live alone and if you have no one to talk to, you can do a pet and start giving it all your problems. But I don't know if pets get stressed, because if they do, you can imagine all the stresses that you'll be pouring on it. It can get stressed. Yeah. I don't know, but I'm thinking it does. In high school, you used to be told that a problem shared is half solved. Yeah. And unfortunately, people avoid sharing problems because you don't want someone so and so to laugh at us. You can do journaling. I said, sorry about that. I said that maybe they support our channel. We also look into grow so that we can have better microphones. So give this video a like. Let's support these girls. I started recently journaling myself. I'm not so consistent in it, but every once in a while, when I wake up in the morning and I have things I have to say, I even started a podcast, so I'll start my journaling there. I have an audio podcast and I have a journal, like a blog. She also has a blog. I don't know if hers is for journaling, but me, I talk about things that I want in that blog post because it's mine. That is a way of dealing with situations or things that you cannot do so much about. You just hope that you'll write about, then someone can do something about it, or they can actually be triggered to change for the better because of that. You can also record yourself and listen to yourself afterwards and start thinking, because you see, when you're recording yourself, it's like you're talking to yourself, you're telling yourself something, and then you listen to yourself afterwards. You get like, you process the info and you can be able to see it from a different perspective. And it sounds crazy, but it's not. It actually works a lot. Another thing that you can do when you have a lot of stress is actually prioritize things that make you happy. She talked about exercise. Unfortunately, for most of us, before you get the hack of exercise, it's going to be strenuous. That is okay. Do not be so quick to give up because it's hard at the first few minutes, because exercise is one of the best ways to deal with, to relieve the pressures of life. Like, you go to that gym, you hit that treadmill, you hit that, even those boxing things, you fight those people. It will give you a lot of, you relieve, excuse my cat, it will help you relieve a lot of stress and a lot of, is it energy, bad energy if there is any, and then it will also help you in releasing the good feel hormones. But again, because exercise can be addictive, so you go easy on that. And do things like, maybe you can dance also. If you are a good dancer, you can also learn dancing on YouTube. We are lucky we're in the social media era, so can take advantage of so many other things. And the last thing that you should do if you are stressed is actually seek psychological or professional help. Most people fear this because they don't want to be looked at as weak, but seeking help does not mean you're weak. Seeking help means you're strong enough to want to take care of yourself and be better for yourself, for your family, for your friends, for your relatives, and for your neighbors.
Ipeleke
Kanyaunyau.
ipeleke balcony.
haiwezi enda. Ukiwa hapa kama imeamua ni wewe, ni wewe.
Mbona wewe ikusumbui? Ama uiweke pale.
Acha ikae hapo, itakuuma.
We?
Yeah, so that was on stress management. Today my cat has decided she'll be part of the video by force. So so you please excuse her. So Grace, you can talk about maybe the last few, like the last two foundations of health.
The last one, but it's not really the last, because there are so many things that maybe have not been discovered yet that can make our lives better and more healthier. But I wanted to add on about hydration, because we've talked about food and all that, exercise, sunshine, stress management, but also our body is like what percent water? 70%. So we need to make sure that we are hydrating enough so that we can optimize those nutrients that we are eating to be well absorbed and assimilated into our body. So we all know about hydration. Some people say you need to take 2 liters, some people say you need to take 3 liters, but the thing is, it's good to understand how your body works, and you can earn your right to intuitive eating and hydrating yourself. Like someone who has never who is not a very good drinker of maybe water, what is known as water, maybe there's something else that there are other liquids that you can incorporate that can also be a source of hydration to our bodies. Because I mentioned earlier that hydration is not just taking plain water. Kwanza, if you are taking just plain tap water that you are unsure if it has been well filtered and if it has the minerals, you can be doing more harm to yourself than good. So first of all, verify your water source. Make sure that you are taking good quality water that has been filtered and that has the natural minerals. Nowadays you will see that there are other healthy alternatives to water, like spring water, something that has been like harvested directly from those springs or water sources, and you are sure that it has those minerals, that those magnesium, potassium, sodium chloride and all that are going to properly hydrate, because hydration is about those minerals getting into our bodies. That is what causes hydration. It's not just taking plain water. I hope that message has been put across. You don't have to take to count your liters that you are taking every day, because sometimes it can be a source of stress to other people, asking yourself, says how many liters or something like that. But just go by what your body needs and requires, because even taking bone broth, and it's a healthy liquid, that is also a source of hydration to your body. Maybe some people take vegetable soup, that is also a source of hydration. People take herbal teas, that is also a source of hydration. So it's not just the water. Just to sum it up, hydration is very important, despite the source, whether it's coming from filtered water, spring water, or from vegetable soup. So I think we've come to the end of this video.
And maybe I can add something. Sleep. Maybe before we close, we can talk about sleep. Sleep is the most underrated form of, is it self-care, health-care, or anything? Because currently people think it's cool to not sleep. Like I was in a discussion and someone was like, ukilala 4 hours wewe ni mlazy. It doesn't mean you're lazy because you're resting. That notion needs to change, and I'm hoping that as a country we are not going to adapt that. It's good to look for money, it's good to be busy, but imagine looking for that money, getting all that busy, and then you end up spending that money because you did not take enough time to rest. Now you have a lot of issues. Sleep has been shown to reduce mental disorders. Sleep has been shown to reduce metabolic disorders like diabetes, hypertension, arthritis, and all those things that are related to inflammation. Sleep has been shown to improve cellular turnover. So having enough rest is very, and metabolism, having and also digestion, because you see, when you're sleeping, you're giving your body ample time to rest, and then and even the posture that you're having when you're sleeping is a bit more comfortable for your system to move things. That is why most people pass stool and go to the toilet in the morning, because your body has taken up what it needs from the things that you've given it during the day, and now it's ready to start a clean day. And it of course, if you have been following the things, or if you are going to follow the things that we're going to talk to you about, your body is going to be always ready to start on a clean slate and do the best that it can with what you're giving it. So yeah, maybe that's all I can add. Do you have any other thing that you can add? Maybe you can also look for a kitty cat. They disturb you, but they are nice.
Yeah, they have made my few minutes to be. I was saying, yeah, but I love it. It's been a good company. So yeah, I think that's all for today's video. And the most important thing, when we started, we said that you don't have to follow rules. Health is not about following very strict rules, so that you can be healthy. Even if you get whatever information from TikTok, whichever social media, you need first to sit down and have a meeting with yourself, interrogate the source of information before you can even start applying, because sometimes we have found ourselves guilty of doing things zenye tumesikia from here, there and there, and just and just complicating our lives. I don't know, unaambiwa sijui uende what those, like, if you understand the foundations first, you'll not be easily duped to follow some crazy things that are happening currently, or what is known as fad diets. So that is it from us. I hope you have learned your 1 or 2 points, and give us your feedback on what you think, or what do you perceive are the foundations to good health, and then we can have a chat from there.
And also tell us what you'd like us to talk about.
Yes.
And remember to follow us on our social. I'll link that up
on the description.
Grace Mishara, registered dietitian. We are in Kenya, so look for us. So thank you for watching, and until next week,
it's a bye.
Bye.